Hello everyone, and welcome back to our series on algorithms. In the last video, we wrapped up our discussion on divide and conquer by discussing convolution and the fast Fourier transform. In this video, we introduce a new type of algorithm, greedy algorithms. If you enjoyed this lecture, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. With that, let's begin. Greedy algorithms are a problem-solving strategy in which locally optimal choices are used to obtain a global solution. In some cases, this leads to a globally optimal solution for a given problem. However, in most cases, this does not. Hence, it is important to recognize when these algorithms are guaranteed to give the best possible solution and when they merely approximate the optimum. Nevertheless, approximation algorithms can still be extremely useful as they present practical methods of solving computationally hard problems. For this video, we will be looking at greedy algorithms which always yield optimal results. The general process of formulating these types of algorithms is as follows. First, choose a greedy metric to use. A greedy metric is simply the local choice we will use to find or approximate a global optimum. If we have multiple greedy metrics to choose from, it's possible that some of these may not yield optimal solutions. Hence, try and find some counterexamples to see if each metric will always yield an optimal solution. Once you have isolated a metric that you believe to be the best choice, the next step is to prove that this metric yields an optimal solution. There are several ways to prove that a given greedy metric is optimal. Oftentimes, this will involve us using a proof by contradiction, whereby we will assume that the algorithm solution is not optimal and then argue that the definition of the algorithm contradicts this assumption. We will look through some examples to see this process in action. Lastly, we will perform a complexity analysis of this algorithm. Let's look at an example of a greedy algorithm to better understand these principles in action. One characteristic example of a problem which can be solved easily using greedy algorithms is the fractional knapsack problem. In our dynamic programming video, we discussed the 0-1 knapsack problem. If you don't remember the formulation of the problem, I recommend you revisit that part of the video before continuing. I've linked the video in the description below. The fractional knapsack problem is effectively the same as the 0-1 knapsack problem, except instead of allowing only 0 or 1 of a given item, we can allow values between 0 and 1 as well. Unlike the 0-1 knapsack problem, the fractional knapsack problem can be solved in polynomial time. Before we get into how to solve this problem optimally, let's make a few observations. If we want to maximize the total value of items in the knapsack, note that we want to maximize the ratio of value to weight. Hence, we want to choose those items with the highest ratio of value to weight. With this in mind, we can construct the following greedy algorithm. Let C equals 0 denote the current capacity of the knapsack. Let A denote the vector which stores the fractional values for each item I. This vector is initialized to all zeros. First, we calculate the ratio Ri equals Vi over Wi for all items I, and then store each pair I, Ri in a list. Then, we sort the list of ratios in order of decreasing Ri values. Third, we iterate over the sorted list and perform the following. If Wi is less than W minus C, we set Ai equal to 1. Otherwise, we set Ai equal to W minus C over Wi and terminate. To prove that this algorithm provides an optimal solution, we can do the following. Assume that the solution A we get from our algorithm is not optimal. This means that in the optimal solution A prime, we must have that the total value V prime is greater than the value V of A. We can assume that the knapsacks are filled as much as possible given the items provided, as if there's any space left in the knapsack and any items left, we can trivially add them to the knapsack, resulting in a greater value. This would violate the optimality of solution A prime, and in the case of A, this would imply that the algorithm would not have concluded, which would result in another contradiction. Hence, since the total weight of items in the knapsack C prime equals C for both solutions, and V prime is greater than V, we must have that the overall ratio of items R prime is greater than R. However, since the algorithm maximizes the ratio between value and weight by definition, this cannot be the case. Therefore, by contradiction, the solution obtained from this algorithm must be optimal. Analyzing the complexity of this algorithm, we have that calculating the ratios for each item is O of n. Sorting via an efficient algorithm such as merge sort is O of n log n. And iterating over each element in the list to perform constant time comparisons is O of n. Therefore, the overall complexity is O of n log n. Let's take a look at another typical example of a greedy algorithm which yields an optimal solution. In the activity selection problem, we have n activities with start and end times, and we want to determine the largest number of activities we can schedule simultaneously without any conflicts. I want you to pause the video and try to think of what your greedy metric should be in this case. You might have come up with a few different options for what local choice you should use to construct a globally optimal solution. Namely, two simple approaches to this problem might be to either choose the activity that starts the earliest and does not conflict with the running schedule, or choose the activity that ends the earliest and does not conflict with the running schedule. While both of these options seem promising, only one of these approaches actually results in an optimal solution. Specifically, option 2 is the only optimal greedy metric between the two. To understand why, we can construct a simple counterexample for option 1. Suppose we have activities A, B, and C laid out as follows. Clearly, the optimal choice would be to have activities B and C in the schedule, as this would allow us to have two activities. However, option 1 would have us only pick activity A, meaning that we would get a schedule with only one activity. Therefore, option 1 is not a suitable greedy metric. Now that we have selected our greedy metric, constructing the algorithm is fairly simple. We simply apply the greedy metric iteratively until we cannot add more activities. However, how do we prove that this approach actually works? Well, pause the video and try to construct a proof based on how we approached the fractional knapsack problem. To prove this algorithm, we can use a proof by contradiction. Assume that the algorithm is not optimal. Define the algorithmic solution to be A with n activities and the optimal solution to be A prime with n prime activities. Let AI and A prime I be the ith activity in A and A prime, respectively. Since A is assumed to not be optimal, we must have that n prime is greater than n. Since A is different from A prime, we have that if we arrange all activities in each schedule in chronological order, the choice of activities must differ in at least one location. Suppose the first instance of this difference occurs at the ith activity, and label the corresponding event in A as AI, and that in A prime as AI prime. By the greedy metric, the end time of AI is less than or equal to AI prime. Furthermore, if I is greater than 0, then the activities chosen before this point are trivially the same in both schedules, meaning that the start time of AI is greater than the end time of AI minus 1 prime. Hence, we can swap A prime with A and S prime and still produce a feasible schedule without reducing the number of activities, meaning that optimality is maintained. Applying this process recursively, we eventually have that the first n events of A prime are equivalent to those of A. Since n prime is greater than n, we have that it is possible to fit n prime minus n more events at the end of the schedule after the end time of an. However, since the algorithm only terminates when we cannot add any more events to the schedule, this would imply that our algorithm halted early, meaning that we have a contradiction. Hence, it must be true that A is optimal and therefore n equals n prime. For the complexity of this algorithm, we have that sorting the activities by n times is the step which dominates the runtime, meaning that, again, the overall complexity is O of n log n. Now that we understand how greedy algorithms work, in the next video, we will discuss how these methods can be applied to solve a more general class of problems concerning mathematical objects known as matroids. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.